VSIs, welcome to Real French Food. We're making the perfect dinner for you tonight. This is chicken with mushroom and shallot sauce, and in French style, we're actually going to make this creamy, but don't be afraid. It's not going to be bad for you. It's low cal and low sodium, so stick around and watch this, okay? So what we'll need to get started are some chicken breasts, and I've chosen a thin fillet. I really like to do this specific recipe with a thinner chicken breast. So we'll start with some of those. We have some minced garlic, shallots I've already sliced up, some fresh mushrooms here. You can use any kind of mushroom, portobello, these white button mushrooms are just fine. Any kind of mushroom is fine. And then of course our salt and pepper blend, and then our cream is actually a light sour cream. So we're cutting on the fat and we've got some nice creamy richness to our recipe. So we're gonna get started actually at the stove. It's all going to be in one frying pan. We're just gonna mix up a couple of our ingredients and make a perfect sauce for you. All right, so we're gonna turn our stove on, and we don't want it too hot, but we definitely want to make sure that our pan heats up. To this we'll add about a tablespoon of olive oil. If you want to keep it light, you can definitely put about a teaspoon. We just want something to coat the pan so that the chicken doesn't burn and doesn't stick to the pan. And then once we've warmed up a little bit, we'll take our chicken breast. This is a really nice size chicken, and we'll sear it. And all we need to do is just sear the outside so that they are brown. We are not looking at cooking this through. If we cook it through, it'll be way too dry once we finished our dish completely. So we really want the pan to start to sizzle and really get a nice brown golden layer. Okay, so we're just about done with our chicken here. I'm going to just do a quick sprinkle of our salt and pepper blend and flip and do the same thing on the other side just to make sure that we season it. And then I'm going to take this piece, we're going to turn off our heat. I'm going to take this piece and actually put it in a plate and put this to one side. So we're going to go ahead and get this back on our heat. And you want about a medium heat, medium high. And we're going to add our shallots. This is about one medium-sized shallot. We'll add about a half of a teaspoon of minced garlic, and this is fresh minced garlic. And we're just going to let this sort of break down a little bit. Now the thing about garlic to remember is that if you add it early on or your heat is too high, it can burn. So really make sure you mix it around and stir it up and make sure that you don't have any garlic that burns, otherwise it's not going to taste good. So now to this we'll put in our mushrooms, and we'll go ahead and we'll let this cook down. So this process right here, letting your mushrooms cook, is probably going to take a good 10 minutes or so. You really just want all the moisture from the mushrooms to come out, and so you would not put a lid on the top of this. Make sure that it's nice and open so that all the air and the moisture can just come right out. And then once this is finished, we'll go ahead and put in our other ingredients as well. So our mushrooms have cooked down a little bit, the same thing with our shallots, and to this I'm pouring in about a half a cup of Chardonnay. You can use any white wine that you'd like, but I just like the body of a white Chardonnay and the taste that it lends to most dishes. You can use a Pinot Grigio, something that's relatively just well-bodied. I just prefer that. So we'll let that simmer. You want your alcohol to burn off as much as possible. And so once this simmers down just a little bit, we'll go ahead and we'll put in our sour cream. And at this point, you don't want to stir it vigorously. It will start to curdle, so just slowly just let it melt right into the dish. You can even just leave it as your wine breaks down a little bit. Just let it sit there. So you can see the sour cream is really starting to melt into the rest of the sauce. On the edges here, it's starting to change the color of everything. And then we'll just let this simmer, put it on low heat, and we'll let this simmer until everything is cooked through. Okay, we're going to take that piece of chicken we put off to one side, and we're going to just place it right into our sauce. And any juices, go ahead and pour those in too. Don't worry about any unsafe elements of raw chicken or anything like that. You are cooking this through, so really don't feel concerned. We'll actually take our tongs here and we will make sure our sauce is nice and dredged and cover up any mushrooms or any shallots. We'll cover up our chicken with that, and we'll just let this sit relatively low heat. We don't really want anything to bubble or boil too high. And we'll just let this sit for another 5 minutes or so. If you want to check your chicken because you're not 100% certain if it's cooked through, you can definitely slice in the middle and check to see if it's cooked through. Otherwise, it really will be done in about 10 minutes. You can go ahead and plate and enjoy it. So here we have our low sodium chicken with mushroom and shallot sauce. And enjoy that. À votre santé.